Hi there, this is another one of my wonderful rehearsed and well scripted videos, all totally professional. So you will be blown away with the high quality of all of this. Not really. This is pretty good for a guy that's 73. I'm going to talk to you about the historic series guitars that were made by Gretsch company before Fender took them over from 1999 to about 2003. Fred Gretsch took over Gretsch to resurrect Gretsch, and then Fender, of course, we all know, took them over in like 2004. These guitars were called the historic series, and there's nothing really historic about them. They do resemble other guitars that Gretsch has made in the past, kind of a combination of all of those. They were built in Korea from 1999 to 2003 in the Peerless factory. Peerless builds some wonderful guitars. The models that they had, the only ones I'm going to concern myself with here are the bigger Streamliner ones, not the thin lines, the 3140s, the 3141s, 3160s, and so on and so forth, that were, like the 1.5" or so, about as wide as a ES 330, 335 guitar. These are the wider bodies, or not wider bodies, they're 16-inch bodies, and they're wider depth. They're 2.5 inches wide. So they're just perfect between a big Herc Jazz box and the thinner ones. Anyway, they made the models, and I'm going to look at my cheat sheet here so this stays professional. They made 3155 and a 3156, which had Bigsby's. The 5 had was a cherry color, and the 56 was a white. They had Bigsby's, they had gold hardware. Most of them had B7 Bigsby's. I've seen a few of them that have had the B3s. I don't know if they were added on later, but they had the B7s that have the bar in front, so you get a bigger break angle. Then they also made the same identical guitar, except for color, a 3150, which was cherry or red, and the 3151, which was black. And I have not seen a black one, that came with the Bigsby like the other two. And those had the G cutout tailpiece, kind of, on the line of a trapeze, but only the Gretsch, G cutout. And I had a 3155, and I did a video on that in 2014. I've sold it, and the main reason I sold it, a couple of them. One is it was a B7. I don't care for B7s except on that 61 ES330 in the back there. That's pretty sweet. But anyway, I didn't like it, and also I just can't have a red or orange guitar. I keep fooling myself and thinking, hey man, you love Gretsch's, you got to have a red or an orange one, an orange one. And I've got one on the back there. That's a Setzer. Super duper, all lacquer, beautiful guitar, so on and so forth. And I am going to get rid of it in March when I get back from my trip. Right now it's February 1st, and I'll be back at the end of March. So I'm going to get rid of it, and mainly because I don't like the color, and I should have never bought it, and now I think I'm swearing off of all that. Anyway, back to the historic Streamliners. The label inside here, and I don't think you're going to get to see that, maybe, but anyway, it says Gretsch, and it says Savannah, Georgia. These guitars, of course, were made in Korea. There are no serial numbers on the back headstocks. There is no indication anywhere on the guitar that they're made in Korea. I've seen some of them for sale, which the person who doesn't know assumes it was made in the USA, and they'll advertise it as a USA made built, but most of us, if we're really looking at it, know better. But they were made in Korea, like I said, by Peerless. So I stumbled on, I always regretted selling the red one because it did sound so good, but I'm kind of glad I did, because here I am 9 years later. I found this dead mint, really, G3151. And I love Bigsby B3s. You can see there on the back wall, I got a lot of them. You know, there's the 53 jet. Anyhow, and there's that Harmony Stratotone. And I put Bigsby's on practically everything except my acoustics. So this Bigsby, putting them on for me is pretty simple. I love the B3, so I put a B3 on here with the Chet handle. I never had a Chet handle before. By golly, I really, really like that. It's about an inch longer than the standard Bigsby handle, so it just gives it a little more for this. I did use the B3 instead of a B6 because the B6 is about another inch and a half longer, and so you need every little bit of angle, you know, for that Bigsby. You don't need a lot of pressure to have them work properly, so the B3 sets back farther, you get a little better angle. I used the Towner, he sells an insert that just fits right in the middle hole of a Bigsby. You put that in there, you do not need to screw screws or drill any holes in your guitar. If you use that, you put that, the only thing holding this on right now is the strap button in the center there with that Towner plate that goes in there. They're not cheap, about 18 bucks shipped. But the screws that you see on there are just for, they're screwed into the metal. They've been cut off on the back, so they're flush with the Bigsby, so no new screws being put into the guitar. The only other thing I changed was the strap locks I put on the Schallers. I've never liked the Gretsch ones, but the Gretsch ones came with it. These have a USA built, made, de-Armand 2000 pickups. These are wonderful frickin' pickups. They're not exactly like a Dynasonic, and they're kind of a cross between a Dynasonic and a P90. They just are a little different than the P90, and I just love them, and that's what I missed about that 3155. Also, you see my two little screws there. I took the pick guard off of this, not because, well, it does look better, but for some reason, they put the same butt-ugly pick guard on every one of these. They call it a tortoise something, but it's really a maudlin. It really is an ugly, ugly. So when you Google these and you look, you'll see what I'm talking about. Maybe you might like it, but I just think they're ugly, and it's my opinion, and my opinion's the only one that counts here. So anyway, neat features. The the thumbnail fret marker thingies, rosewood fretboard, but back then they got better rosewood. You see, it's a little darker than some of the light colored stuff that's coming out today. Also, it's a 24 3/4 inch scale. The body joins the frets, the neck joins the body at the 16th fret. So that allows you to get up in here much easier than when it's on the 14th fret, especially on a wider body guitar. This body depth is 2.5 inches, which I believe is about exactly the same as that Setzer back there, your 6120s. I think that thickness is just perfect between the thin, 330s, your Jets, your Les Pauls. I mean, of course, those are all solid. But anyway, it's just the perfect combo between the big jazz box like my Gildex 500, which is, I think, 3.5 inches, thick. So much more comfortable to play. Beautiful guitar. Let's see what else I can add here with my cheat sheets. Typical 3-position toggle, selectors, bridge pickup, and both, and the neck. And then on the controls for your volume and tone, you have 2 volumes and a master tone, very typical of Gretsch. The Tune-o-matic bridge, and this one doesn't have the Rattle-matic with the springs in it. It's almost, I don't know if it's a Goto or not, but it looks pretty similar. It's just straight up machined. A very nice bridge that came with it. Gloss urethane, black headstock overlay, of course, that we need that, and then the Hysteric series truss rod cover, and the Gretsch, you know, that's inside that and under all that. Very beautiful. That's about it. The cat's eyes are bound, and of course it has a truss rod. So that's the specs, that's the deal, and I will do a little short video of so you can hear it and see how it plays that I'll attach to this one. If you're seeing this, then this is the final perfect product of my video. Okay, here's what the guitar sounds like going through my 5E7 Marsh Bandmaster 310s, and that's what it sounds like. So clams and all. Okay, sorry for the abrupt ending there. I had another deal of doing Mystery Train without a backing track. This is my guitar wall. I've been so blessed with having so many guitars over the last 25 years, just about anything that I would want to own. And I think I've arrived with my keepers, and some of these I've had for many years. The only one that's not on here is my Guild X500, and it's at the shop. This was the namesake for our band, which was 56 Pontiac. And I will leave you with a video of my sweet little Priscilla, who died November 28th of 2022, and her last enjoyable ride in my 1956 Pontiac in August of 22. Woo, we're having a good time. Dog loves it, yeah.